Welcome to part 6 of the Forgotten Hollywood Top 3 in 10 different genres with our wonderful, wonderful pal, Manny Pacheco.
Manny, we have been going through film history for the studio era. That was 1930 to 67, did you say?
Yep,
We've been
absolutely.
going through this like, what do they say? Goose liver through the hired girl or something like that. We've been through film noir. We did best movies. We did westerns. We did war films. We did screwball comedies. What's the next genre?
Well, for Forgotten Hollywood's top three, I had to pick this only because the three that made this list are all in my top 10 of all time films.
No kidding.
That's,
Wow.
I guess I like courtroom dramas.
Courtroom dramas. Okay.
Yeah.
A number of them come to mind. They are classics.
Maybe they'll be on this list. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll
All right,
see.
you want to
Now,
give us a
is this as a
couple that didn't make it? Give us a couple that
Yeah, I
didn't
can
make
talk
it.
about a couple that didn't make it. But what were you going to say, John? We don't want
I
to.
was just going to say, as a point of history, do you happen to know what the first courtroom drama might have been on film?
Wow, that is
Might have been a silent film. I just
probably could have been a silent film. I remember some early films that involved courtroom-esque dramas, moments in film. I can think of one called what was it called? The Story of Temple Drake, something like that, or The Sin of Nora Moran. I mean, those early 1930 pre-code films featured a lot of courtroom action because obviously crime was very, very popular, so they had to include people paying for their crimes, and that meant courtroom dramas. But these are courtroom dramas that I picked that start in the courtroom and end in the courtroom from start to finish. This is not where the climax takes place in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think if I had to have an honorable mention, it's that old chestnut, Billy Wilder again. And this is a movie most people don't associate with him. He actually did a British drama that people don't associate Billy Wilder with, but it featured one of the final performances of Tyrone Power, beautiful performances of Marlene Dietrich and Charles Laughton and Elsa Lanchester. It's Witness for the Prosecution. That's my
class.
Nobody remembers it was done by Billy Wilder.
Yeah. Well, you'd never associate him with anything but a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is actually one of his real gems. I mean, I could also probably throw in others, but the three that I have, I'm pretty confident are the right three. And so let's get to and they're on my top 10. I like I mentioned. I want to begin with one, and this is directed by Otto Preminger. It's got wonderful jazzy score from Duke Ellington. It stars James Stewart, and it also stars George C. Scott, Ben Gazzara, Lee Remick, Arthur O'Connell, Eve Arden. It's a wonderful, gritty drama that has an adult theme to it because it involves a rape, and it's called Anatomy of a Murder.
Yes. Yes.
Fabulous film.
Yeah, that's your number 3 choice.
That's my number 3. And it only is kind of a familial film because James Stewart is so folksy in it. But boy, this is a very gritty film. And it has definite adult themes that had to get by the Hays Code because they were talking about some very graphic things that occur in this film. And it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong. It is absolutely a wonderful masterpiece of a film. And James Stewart commands this film from start to finish. So that's number 3. Number 2 is it is a courtroom drama, but not in the sense that you have to deal with crime and punishment. This has to deal with the retribution of the vanquished in a war. I didn't include this in my war series because it happens after the war, World War II, but it features an all-star cast of Spencer Tracy, Burt Lancaster, Richard Whitmark, Marlene Dietrich, Judy Garland, Montgomery Clift. I mean, Warner Klemperer, even William Shatner is in this movie, and an Oscar-winning performance by Maximilian Schell. It's called Judgment at Nuremberg.
Yeah.
It deals
Yeah.
with the Nuremberg trials. You don't
Nuremberg
think of it
trials,
as a
yeah.
traditional courtroom drama, but it's all courtroom.
Yeah.
And it's done partly in German, mostly in English, but it is dramatic. And Stanley Kramer really knocks it out of the park. I think it's 3 hours of riveting drama of what to do with folks who are not necessarily the Nazis, but these were the people who were the contributors, the ones that were considered the allies
Yeah.
of the Nazis. These were people who were like lawyers and judges. And by the time they started to get tried in Nuremberg, we rapidly found that we had to become allies of Germany to fight another foe, and that would be Russia in a Cold War.
Yeah.
So it was really this pull between, do we punish folks for atrocity, or do we diminish that punishment because now they're our allies? And that's a very tough question to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
Yeah,
it was a very powerful film when it came out because of that very same controversy. It kind of shined a light into the dark corners of the Cold War, really,
and the atrocities of Nazi Germany too.
Absolutely.
The concentration camps. You know, and if not for West Side Story, I think this would have just captured all the awards.
Yeah.
I think, I honestly, if I had to make a comparison, I think of its day, 1960, I think it was the Oppenheimer of its day. I think it was that dramatic, that powerful.
It was.
Yeah, and I think there's only one film better. And ironically, it's a courtroom drama that doesn't take place in court.
Okay.
I got it wrong. I definitely got it wrong.
Drama that doesn't take place in court. That's because it takes place in a jury room. And of course, Henry Fonda produced and starred in this film.
Yes.
George C. Scott is wonderful. Jack Klugman. You have Martin Balsam, Jack Warden, 12 Angry Men.
Yes.
I think that is the definitive courtroom drama, because what happens at the end of a court case? You get the jurors together and they have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about as riveting as it gets.
Oh, it is. There's no question about it. And it's a true drama.
Yeah, it is, you know, and each character is played to perfection. It takes place in one room. Sidney Lumet is absolutely masterful in his direction. And for all of this, the movie was a flop when it was released.
No kidding. Really?
And it was so sad because Henry Fonda never recouped his investment in this film. And he wanted to make this film so badly. Now it's considered a bona fide, absolute classic. But then it just didn't capture the imagination of the public, and it should have, but it didn't.
Yeah. You know, you've made a wonderful case for all these films, as you have on others that I would have considered to be more controversial. I'm surprised that Kill a Mockingbird didn't get even an honorable mention.
Oh, well, To Kill a Mockingbird would have been number 4. That's the next one. Yeah, it's hard to argue with To Kill a Mockingbird. To me, that's not as much a courtroom drama, although the courtroom scenes in that movie are absolutely riveting. But I think it's more of a drama about people growing up, kids growing up. It's a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Art. You know, To Kill a Mockingbird is a masterpiece of a movie in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue, you know.
Cannot argue with 12 Angry Men and Judgment of Nuremberg. Absolutely, they belong right there, 1 and 2 on anybody's list.
To Kill a Mockingbird, that's a good choice. You know what else is a good choice that's not on the list that I have to mention as well? Inherit the Wind.
Oh, boy.
Another really tough subject.
Scopes trial, yeah.
The monkey trial. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there are many great dramas that have to be in a courtroom.
Well, that's kind of why, Manny, that's why I asked you about what was the first courtroom drama, because it seems to me that is the right word, ubiquitous genre. There's always courtroom dramas, and there's always courtroom action, and it's just a natural place for drama.
Oh, it is the perfect place for drama. One of the early dramas that I think was really, really good was called They Won't Forget. is about the lynching of a Jewish boy, and
Mm.
it was as important a movie to Claude Rains as was The Invisible Man. Just so you
Wow.
know, it was a great film, and it really kind of a kid gets accused of killing a student. I know a teacher gets accused of killing a student, and it happens in the South, and they decide they're going to lynch him. When they find out he's Jewish, it pretty much signs his death warrant. And the prosecuting attorney is played by Claude Rains, and it's really a powerful film. Really, They
Yeah.
Won't Forget, and it came out in 1935 and 36. Here's the trivia question for that movie. I love these forgotten Hollywood tidbits. Who plays the murder victim in her debut role? Lana Turner.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
And for all of that, it comes in my top 900. It's like number 895 or 894. Yeah, so it's a great film, but it's number 894.
All right, now I just want to ruin the mood with one question for you. And that is, I remember a film, and I don't remember who starred as Lincoln, but it was a young Lincoln trying his first case or something like that. And it was a courtroom drama. And he was a defendant, I think a defense attorney.
Yeah, Abe Lincoln of Illinois, and that was probably Raymond Massey.
Anyway, I love that film. I wish
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't remember the name of it or the actor, but it was a great film.
That's funny you mentioned that film because, like I mentioned, They Won't Forget is number, what is this, 894, and Abe Lincoln of Illinois is, let me see if I can find it. I'll find it really fast. 913.
But you know something, Manny, you're so thorough in the way you go through all this stuff that people will begin to be saying, "I made Manny's top 1,000."
Yes.
That will be enough to probably raise their fee by 50% in the next movie.
Can I close with one thing? When we finish this top 10,
yes,
when we do our 10th week, at the very close of that show, I will reveal the number 1,000th movie on my list.
Okay.
I mean, this is almost like the cadet that was last in his class at West Point.
That's right. Mr. Irrelevant in the football, when they pick the football players, the last player picked.
Well, listen, Manny, this has been great. We're 6 episodes into a 10-episode series. I can't wait for the next
4 more to go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. This is always a fun conversation with you guys. I appreciate it.
For more on Celebrating Act Two, visit our webpage, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and tell your friends. Celebrating Act Two is the user manual for the second half of your life.